Tonight we are reading Romeo and Juliet by William
Oh.
Shakespeare, adapted by Taylor Phillips.
Yay.
Yay, Taylor.
Tonight playing Romeo,
John Defilippo.
playing Juliet,
Sylvie Hartley.
playing Friar Lawrence,
Harley Diamond.
playing Nurse and Abram and Second Watch,
Liz Bove.
playing Capulet, Lord Capulet,
Marty Goldberg. Whoop, Marty Goldberg.
playing Mercutio, Gregory, and Page,
Christopher Young.
playing Benvolio, First Watch.
Mr. Freon.
Mr. Freon,
Bernie Bosio. What, Benvolio and who?
First Watch.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Second Watch, Bernie.
First Watch, Bernie.
I
Playing Lady
only have one watch.
playing Lady Capulet,
Anne-Marie Ross.
playing Prince Escalus, Peter, and Friar John,
Michael Janove.
playing Count Paris and Sampson will be Miguel, Fana, playing Tybalt, Balthasar,
David Mackler.
playing Montague, Servingman, Apothecary, and Chorus.
I'm Kane.
Act 1, Prologue. Enter Chorus.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny. Where civil blood makes civil feuds unclean, from forth the fatal loins of these two toes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventures piteous overthrows. Doth with their death bury their parents' strife, the fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage. The which if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Exit Chorus. Scene 1, Verona, a public place. Enter Sampson and Gregory of the house of Capulet with swords and bucklers.
Gregory, on my word, will not carry coals.
Oh, for then we should be colliers.
I mean, and if we be collar, we'll draw.
Aye, while you live, draw your neck out of collar.
A dog of the house of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runnest away.
A dog of the, oh, I'm sorry. The quarrel is between our masters and us the men. I'm sorry. Baba, a dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's.
A quarrel, and us their men.
'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be civil with the maids. I will cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids?
Aye, the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads.
Enter Abram with other serving men.
Draw thy tool. Here comes the house of Montagues.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin.
I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list.
Nay, yes, they dare. I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law on our side if I say I?
No.
No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
But if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Draw if you be men.
They fight.
All right, fools.
Benvolio draws his sword.
Put up your swords. You know not what to do.
Enter Tybalt drawing his sword.
What Art thou drawn amongst these heartless hinds? Turn me, Benvolio, look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me.
What? Drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward!
They fight. Enter old Capulet in his gown and his wife, Lady Capulet.
What noise is this? Give me my long sword, ho!
A crutch. Why call you for a sword?
Enter old Montague drawn.
My sword, I say. Old Montague is come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Thou villain, Capulet!
Citizens, enter and join the fray. Enter Prince Escalus with his train.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor-stained steel, will I not hear? What ho! You men, you beasts! On pain of torture from these bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground and hear the sentence of your moved prince.
The fighting stops.
3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word by thee, old Capulet and Montague have thrice distributed the quiet of our streets. If you ever disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Exeunt all but Montague and Benvolio.
Who set this ancient quarrel new broach? Speak, nephew. Were you by when it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary and yours. Close fighting here I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came Friar Tybalt with his sword prepared, which, as he breathed defiance to my ears, he swung about his head and cut the winds. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, the prince came, who parted either part.
Well, where is Romeo? Saw you him today?
While early walking did I see your son, sat underneath the grove of sycamore. Towards him I made, but he was aware of me and stole into the covert of the woods.
Many a morning he hath there been, with tears augmenting the fresh morning's dew, adding to clouds, more clouds with his deep sighs. Black and portentous must his humor prove. Unless good counsel may the cause remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know it nor can learn of him.
Have you importuned him by any means?
Both by myself and many other friends. Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as know.
Enter Romeo.
Oh, I see where he comes. So please you, step aside. I'll know his grievance will be much denied.
Would thou wert so happy by thy stay to hear the true shrift. Farewell, I will away.
Exit Montague.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
Oh, but news struck 9.
Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love?
Out.
Of love?
Out of her favor where I am in love.
Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh, me. What fray was here? Yeah, tell me not, for I have heard it all. There's much to do with hate, but more with love. Or then, oh, brawling love, oh, loving hate, oh, anything of nothing first create. Oh, heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep that is not what it is. This love feel I, that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, cuz I rather weep
Good heart, at what?
at thy good heart's oppression.
Why, such is love's transgression. Love is a smoke made with the fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall, and a preserving sweat?
Tell me, in sadness, who is it that you love?
In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aimed so near when I supposed you loved.
A right good mark, man. She's fair I love.
A right fair mark, fair cuz, as soon as hit.
Well, when that hit you miss, shall not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit, and in strong proof of chastity, well armed, from love's weak, childish bow she lives uncharmed.
No, then she hath sworn that she will live chaste.
She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste. For beauty, starved with her severity, cuts beauty off from all posterity. She's too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love. In that vow do I live dead, that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes. Examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers, exquisite and question more. He that is struck and blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell. Thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt.
Exeunt. Scene 2, a street. Enter Capulet, County Paris, and Peter.
But Montague is bound as well as I, in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning you are both. And pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying over what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she are happy mothers made.
And too soon marred are those so early made. Earth hath swallowed all my hopes, but she's the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agreed. Within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the store. One more most welcome makes my number more. At my poor house look to behold this night earth-treading stars that make dark heaven light. Such comfort as do lusty young men feel come revel at my house. Here all see, and like her most, whose merit most shall be, which on more view of many, mine being one, may stand in number, though in reckoning none. Come, go with me.
He gives Peter a list.
Go, sirrah, trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons out, whose names are written there, and to them say my house, and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Exit Capulet and Paris.
Find them out whose names are written here. I am sent to find those papers whose names are here written, and can never find what names the writing person hath here written. I must to the learned.
Enter Benvolio and Romeo.
in good time.
Benvolio.
Sorry.
Top of 12.
Cut, man. One fire burns out, another's burning. Turn giddy and be helped backward turning. Take thou some new infection of thine eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
Good. I pray, sir, can you read?
I, mine own fortune in my misery.
But I pray, can you read anything you see?
Peter gives him the letter. Romeo reads.
Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, County Anselm and his beauteous sisters, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosalind and Livia, Signor Valentino and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio, and the lively Helena. Of a fair assembly, whither should they come?
To our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked thee that before.
My master is the great, rich Capulet. And you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray. Come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you married.
Exit Peter.
At the same ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with untamed eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan crow.
One fairer than my love. The all-seeing sun never saw her match since first the world begun.
Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this feast, and she shall scant show well that now seems best.
I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own.
Exeunt. Scene 3. A room in Capulet's house. Enter Lady Capulet and nurse.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call forth.
Now, by my maidenhead, a 12-year-old, I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid, where's this girl? What Juliet?
Madam, I'm here. What's your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, hear our counsel. Thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age unto an hour. On Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. That shall she. Mary, I remember it well. Since the earthquake, now 11 years, she was weaned. I never shall forget it. Of all the days of year upon that day, for I had then laid wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dove house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dung, and felt it bitter, pretty full, to see it tetchy and fall out with the dug. And since that time, it was 11 years, and then she could stand high alone. Nay, by the rood, she could have run and walked all about, for even the day before she broke her brow. And then my husband, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy faith? Thou wilt fall backward when thou shalt have more wit. Wilt thou not, Jewel? And by my holydom, the pretty wretch left crying and said, aye, to see now how a jest shall come about. I warn, and I should live 1,000 years, I never should forget it. Wilt thou not, Jewel, quoth he, and pretty fool, it stinted and said, aye.
Enough of this, I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Yes, madam, yet I cannot choose but laugh to think it should leave cry and say, eh. Thou shalt fall backward when thou comest to age, wilt thou not, Jewel? It's
And think thou too, I pray thee, nurse, say I.
Peace. I have done. God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once I have my wish.
Mary, that marry is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It's an honor that I dream not of.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. Thus, then in brief, the valiant at Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady. Lady, such a man. As all the world, why, he's a man of wax.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast, read o'er the volume of young Paris' days, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks the cover. That book in many's eye doth share the glory that in gold-clasped locks in golden stray. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him making yourself no less.
No less? Nay, bigger. Women grow by men.
Briefly, do you like of Paris's love?
I look to like if looking lacking move, but no more deep will I endart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Enter Peter.
Madam, the guests are come. I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee.
Exit Peter. Capulet.
Lady
Oh,
Capulet.
Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girls, seek happy nights to happy days.
Exeunt. Scene 4, a street. Enter Romeo, Mercutio, Benvolio, with 5 or 6 other maskers.
What? Shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we on without apology?
We'll let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers. And so bound, I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink it should you burden love, too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in.
They all put on masks.
Knock and enter, no sooner in, but every man betake him to his legs.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep while they do dream things true.
Oh, then I see. Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, or men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinner's legs, the cover of a wing of grasshoppers, her whip, the cricket's bone, the lash of foam. Her wagoner, a small gray-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut, And in this state she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. On courtiers' knees they dream on curtsy straight, or lawyers' fingers who straight dream on fees, or ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream. Which oft the angry mad with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweet meats tainted are. Sometimes she gaps a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit. Sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of healths 5 fathoms deep, and then anon drum in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frighted, swears a prayer or two and sleeps again. This is that very mab that plaits the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf locks in foul sluttish hairs, which once tangled much misfortune bows. This is the hag when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she.
Peace, Mercutio, peace. That talks of nothing.
True. I talk of dreams, which are the children of idle brain, begot of nothing, vain fantasy, which is as thin a substance as the air and more inconstant than the blowing wind.
You talk of blows us ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
You're too early, for my mind misgives some consequence yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revel, expire the term of a despised life closed in my breast by some vile fit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen!
Drum strikes. They march about the stage and then withdraw to the side. Scene 5, a hall in Capulet's house. Serving men move around the place. Enter Capulet, Lady Capulet, Nurse, Juliet, and Tybalt. All the guests and gentlewomen, including Romeo, Mercutio, Benvolio, and the other maskers.
You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play.
Music plays, and they all dance.
A hall give room, and footed girls. More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up, and quench the fire. The room is grown too hot. Ah, sirrah, this unlooked-for sport comes well. Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet, for you and I are past our dancing days.
Capulet steps aside and sits. Juliet dances with a gentleman. Tybalt passes by.
What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir.
She doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty's too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with her toes, as yonder lady o'er her fellows shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night.
Romeo enters the dance.
This, by his voice, should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy.
Exit a page.
What? Dares the slave come hither covered with an antic face to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now, by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not a sin.
Capulet comes forward and meets Tybalt.
Kinsman, wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe. 'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Leave him alone. I would not for the wealth of all this town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient. Take no note of him. It is my will, the which if thou respect, show a fair presence and put off these frowns and ill-beseeming semblance for a
It
feast.
fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What, goodman boy? I say he shall. Go to. Am I master here, or you? Go to. You'll not endure him, huh? God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You will set cock a hoop. You'll be the man.
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to, go to. You are a saucy boy. Isn't it so indeed? Be quiet, or for shame, I'll make you quiet. What? Cheerily, my heart.
I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall.
Exit Tybalt. Romeo approaches Juliet and takes her hand.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
But pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much. Which mannerly devotion shows in this? For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips and holy palmers too?
Ay, pilgrim, lips that they have, they must use in prayer.
Oh, then dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray. Grant thou lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not while my prayers effect I take.
He kisses her.
Thus from my lips by thine, my sin is purged.
To have my lips the sin that they have took.
Sin from my lips, oh, trespass sweetly urged. Give me my sin again.
He kisses her.
You kiss by the book.
Nurse approaches.
Adam, your mother craves a word with you.
Juliet moves toward her mother.
What is her mother?
Married bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks.
Nurse moves away.
Is she a Capulet? Oh, dear account, my life is my foe's debt.
Benvolio.
What sayst thou, Benvolio?
Benvolio.
Away, be gone, the sport is at its best.
Aye, so I fear.
Away begone, the sport is at the best.
I do fear that. The more is my unrest.
Is it even so?
Tell me the nurse. What's yon gentleman?
I know not.
Go ask his name.
Ah,
If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
his name is Romeo and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen unknown and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me, that I must love a loathed enemy.
What's this? What's this?
A rhyme I learned even now of one I dance withal.
Juliet!
Anon, anon, come, let's away. The strangers are all gone.
Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 1. A lane by the wall of Capulet orchard. Enter Romeo alone.
I go forward when my heart is here. Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
He withdraws. Enter Benvolio with Mercutio.
You right, Benvolio?
Romeo, my cousin Romeo. Romeo. he ran this way and left the orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Romeo! Humors! Madmen! Passion! Lover! Appear thou in the likeness of a sigh, speak but one rhyme, and I am satisfied. Cry but I me, pronounce but love, and dove. I conjure thee, by Rosaline's bright eye, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the demesnes that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
And if he hear thee, thou wilt anger him. Come, he hath hid himself among these trees to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Romeo, good night. I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Ah, go then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
Exeunt. Scene 2, Capulet's orchard. Romeo comes forward.
Just at scars that never felt a wind.
Enter Juliet above.
What's off? What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Rise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I'm too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eye in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this being over my head as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him when he bestrides the lazy puffing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, or any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Tell me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I will never be Romeo.
Then art thou that dost be screened in night, so stumbleth on my counsel.
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have yet not drunk 100 words of thy tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either be this like.
How camest thou hither, tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place dead, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I overperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. What love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I will not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, and but thou love me, then let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose action find thou out this place?
By love. First did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him advice. I am no pilot. Yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I should venture for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush beneath my cheek, for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I be well unborn, fain deny what I have spoke. But farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet, if thou swearest, thou mayst prove false. At lovers' perjuries they say Joe laughs. Gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or, if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be purse and say thee no, so thou wilt woo, but else, not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my hair light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that are more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess. But that hour hurts, ere I was where my true love's passion, and therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night had so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon I vow that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in our circled orb. Let thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all. Or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I will believe thee.
If my heart's dear love can...
But do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like lightning, which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love, by summer's ripening breath, may prove a beauteous flower when we next meet. Good night. Good night. As sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Will thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it. Yet I would, it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it thee again. And yet I wish, but for the thing I have, my bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet! Juliet!
I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed, blessed night. I am afeard being in night, all this but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose married, send word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite. And all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon. But if thou meanest not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come, to cease thy strife and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
Exit Juliet.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks.
Romeo begins to exit, re-enter Juliet above again.
Romeo! Psst! Romeo! Ah, for a falconer's voice to lure this thistle gentle back again. Bondage's hoarse and may not speak aloud, else would I tear the cave where echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine, with repetition of my Romeo.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. Silver, sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo turns back.
Romeo!
My dear.
What o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
By the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Oh, let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
It's almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no farther than a wanton's bird that lets it hop a little from his hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with a silken thread plucks it back again. Ah, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I shall kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Exit Juliet.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly friar's close cell, his help to crave, and my dear hath to tell.
Exit Romeo. Scene 3, Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence alone with a basket.
Now, ere the sun advances burning eye, the day to cheer and night's dank dew to dry, I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juiced flowers. Oh, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, stones, and their true qualities. For naught so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. Nor aught so good, but strained from that fair use, revolts from true birth, stumbling on abuse. Virtue itself turns vice, being misapplied, and vice sometime by action dignified. Two such opposed kings encamp them still, in man as well as herbs, grace, and rude will.
Enter Romeo.
Tomorrow, father.
Benedicite, what early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head, so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Thou art unproused with some distemperature, or if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
That last is true, the sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin. Wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline, my ghostly father, no! I forgot that name, and that name's woe.
Ah, that's my good son. But where hast thou been then?
I have been feasting with mine enemy, or on a sudden one hath wounded me that's by me wounded. All the remedy is within thy help, and holy physic lies.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy grift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know, my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine. And all combined, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed, made exchange of vow, I'll tell thee as we pass. But this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosaline, that thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Jesu Maria, what deal of brine hath washed thy sallow cheeks, Sir Rosaline? And art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then. Women may fall when there's no strength in men.
Thou chidst me oft for loving Rosaline.
For doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
And bidst me bury love.
Not in a grave, to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide me not. Her I love now doth grace for grace, and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Oh, she knew well thy love did read by rote, that could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect I'll thy assistant be. For this alliance may so happy prove, to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence, I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
Exeunt. Scene 4, a street. Enter Benvolio and Mercutio.
Where the devil should this Benvolio be? Ah, there he is. Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father's. I spoke with man.
Why, that some pale-hearted wretch, that Rosaline meant him so, that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman to old Capulet, has sent a letter to his father's house.
Challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
I, man that can write, may answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master, how he dares, being dared.
Alas, poor Romeo, he is already dead. Stabbed with a white wench's black eye, run through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft with the blind bow-boy's butt shaft. Is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why, what is Tybalt?
More than prince of cats. Oh, he is the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. He rests his minim rest, 1, 2, and a third in your bosom.
Enter Romeo.
Oh, here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Signor Romeo, bonjour! There's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir! The slip! Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio, my business was great, and in such a case as mine a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much to say such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hands.
Meaning to curtsy?
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
A most courteous exposition.
Nay, I am the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower.
Right.
Why then is my pump well flowered?
Come between us, good Benvolio, my wits faint.
Switch and spurs, or I'll cry a match.
Why is it not this better than now than groaning for love? Now thou art sociable, now thou art Romeo. Now, Thou art what thou art, by art as well as by nature. For this dribbling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole.
Stop there. Stop there.
Thou darest me to stop in my tail against the hair?
Thou wouldst else have made thy tail large.
Oh, enter nurse.
Here's goodly gear. A sail, a sail.
Now, where's my fan? Oh,
Good heaven, hide her face, for her fan's the fairer face.
God you good morrow, good gentleman.
God you good den, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good even?
'Tis no less, I tell you, for the bawdy hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Oh, out upon you. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name for fault of a worse.
You say well. If you be he, sir, I desire some conference with you.
That she will indict him to come to supper.
Abod, 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 so-ho! An old hare whore is a very good meat in Lent. But a hare that is whore is too much for a score, when it whores ere it be spent. Romeo, will you come to your father's, will to dinner thither?
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady, farewell, lady, lady, lady.
Mercutio and Benvolio exit.
I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman nurse that loves to hear himself talk and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
And he speak anything against me, I'll take him down, and he were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot, I'll find those that shall. Scurvy knave, I am none of his flirt goals. Now, afore God, I am so vexed that every part of me about me quivers. Scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, a word. My young lady bid me inquire you out. What she bid me say, I will keep to myself. But first, let me tell you, if you should lead her in a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Good heart, and in faith, I will tell you as much. Lord, Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Friar Lawrence cell be shrived and married.
This afternoon? Well, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high topgallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell. Be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell. Commend me to thy mistress.
And now, God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir, is your man secret? Did you ne'er hear say, two may keep counsel, putting one away?
Warrant thee, my man's as true as steel.
Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. Lord, Lord, when 'twas a little prating thing. Oh, there is a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife upon board, but she, good soul, had as lief see a toad, a very toad, as see him. I anger her sometimes and tell her that Paris is the proper man, but I'll warrant you, when I say so, she looks as pale as any clout in the versal world.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times.
Exeunt. Scene 5, Capulet's orchard. Enter Juliet.
Clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him? That is not so. Oh, she's lame. Lost heralds should be thoughts which 10 times faster glides than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over rolling hills. Therefore do nimble-pinioned doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind-swift Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours, yet she's not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many feign as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead.
Enter nurse.
God, she comes. Oh, honey nurse, what news? Now, good sweet nurse. Oh, Lord, why lookest so sad? Though news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I am aweary, give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache, what a jaunt have I.
I would thou hadst my bones, and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee, speak. Good nurse, speak.
Jesu, what haste! Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that. Say either, and I'll state a circumstance. Let me be satisfied. Is it good or bad?
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo? No, not he. Though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men, and for a hand and a foot and a body, though they be not talked on, yet they are past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warn him as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench, serve God. What, have you dined at home?
But all this did I know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Lord, how my head aches! What a head have I! It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces. My back to the other side. Oh, my back, beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch my death with jaunting up and down.
Oh, ill fate. I'm sorry that thou art not well. Sweet nurse, tell me, what says my love?
Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and I'll warrant you a virtuous. Where's your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Why should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot? Mary, come up. I trow, is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward do your messages yourself.
Here is such a coil. Come. What says Romeo?
Have you got leave to go to Swift today?
I have.
Then hie ye hence to Friar Lawrence's cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'll be in scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church. I must another way to fetch a ladder by the which your love must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. Ah, I am the drudge and toil in your delight. But you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, I'll to dinner. Hie you to the cell.
High to high fortune. Honest nurse. Farewell. Mwah.
Exeunt. Scene 6. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence and Romeo.
So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen, amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love-devouring death, do what he dare. It is enough I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die like fire and powder, which as they kiss, consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore, love moderately. Long love doth so. Too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Here comes the lady. Oh, so light of foot. Will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamers that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall. So light is vanity.
Put in to my ghastly confessor.
Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbor air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter.
Conceit, more rich in matter than in words, brags of its substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up half my wealth.
Come with me, and we will make short work, for by your leaves you shall not stay alone, till Holy Church incorporate two in one.
Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 1. A public place. Enter Mercutio, Benvolio, and their men.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot. The couples are abroad, and if we meet, we shall not scape a brawl. For now, these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of those fellows when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee, and by the operation of the second cup, draws him on the drawer.
Am I like such a fellow?
Thou? Why, thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. Thou hast quarrelled with a man for coughing in the street, because he hath wakened the dog that hath lain asleep in the sun, and yet thou wilt tutor me from quarrelling.
And I were so apt to quarrel as thou art. Any man should buy thee fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter.
Enter Tybalt with Capulet men.
Oh, by my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I cannot.
A gentleman, good e'en. A word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us? Couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir. And you will give me occasion. Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo.
Consorts? What, dost thou make us minstrels?
He flashes the blade of his sword.
Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Zoons, consort.
Oh, we talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw into some private place, or reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes are upon us.
Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure eye.
Enter Romeo.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if you wear your livery.
Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain, I am none, therefore farewell. I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw.
I do protest, I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as mine own, be satisfied.
Calm, dishonorable, vile submission!
He
Tybalt,
draws.
you rat catcher! Will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Oh, good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives, that I mean to make bold withal, and, as you shall use me hereafter, try beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his pilcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ear ere it be out.
I am for you.
He draws.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, your passado.
They fight.
Draw, Benvolio, beat down their weapons.
Romeo draws.
Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressly had forbid this banding in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt, good Mercutio.
Romeo attempts to beat down their rapiers. Tybalt stabs Mercutio and exits.
I am hurt. A plague on both your houses. I'm sped. Is he gone and hath nothing?
What art thou hurt?
Aye, a scratch, Mary, 'tis enough. 'Twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plague on both your houses! Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague on both your houses.
Exeunt all but Romeo.
Gentlemen, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got this mortal hurt in my behalf. My reputation is stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt, at an hour hath been my cousin. Sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened valor's steel.
Re-enter Benvolio.
Oh, Romeo! Brave Mercutio is dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds, which too untimely here did scorn the earth.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe others must end.
Re-enter Tybalt.
Here comes that furious Tybalt back again.
Alive in triumph, and Mercutio slain? Away to heaven, respective lenity, and fire of all fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again that late thou gavest me, for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to give him company. Either thou, or I, or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy that didst consort him here, shalt with him hence.
This shall determine that.
They fight. Tybalt falls.
Romeo, away, be gone. The citizens are up and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee death if thou art taken hence. Be gone, away!
Oh, I am fortune's fool.
Exit Romeo. Citizens enter and exclaim. Enter Prince Montague, Capulet, their wives, and all.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
Noble prince, I can discover all. The unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Oh, my cousin. Oh, my brother's child. Oh, prince. Oh, cousin. Husband, oh, the blood is spilled of my dear kinsman, prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours, shed blood of Montague.
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bid him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who all as hot turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold friends, friends part, and swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down the fatal points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm, who an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled. But by the by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning. For ere I could draw to part them was stout Tybalt's slain, and as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
The kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false, he speaks not true. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him, he slew Mercutio. Who now the price of his dear blood doth owe?
Not Romeo, Prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fall concludes but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your heart's proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. But I amerce you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses, nor tears nor prayers shall produce out abuses. Therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he is found that hour is his last. Bear hence his body and attend our will. Mercy, but murders, pardoning those that kill.
Exeunt. Capulet men bearing off Tybalt's body. Scene 2, Capulet's orchard. Enter Juliet alone.
Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaway's eyes may wink, and Romeo leave to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can do to their amorous rights by their own beauties, or, while be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match. Played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Put my unmeant blood bathing in my cheeks, with thy black mantle, till strange love grow bold. Think true love, acted simple modesty. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day as is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Now, nurse, what news? What hadst thou there? The cords that Romeo bid thee fetch?
Aye, the cords.
She drops the rope ladder.
Ay me, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
We are undone, lady. We are undone. Alack the day. He's gone. He's killed. He's dead.
Oh, can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, who would have thought it? Romeo.
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be road in this one hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou, but I, and that bare foul eye shall poison more than the death-darting eye of a cockatrice.
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark. Here, on his manly breast, a piteous course, a bloody piteous course, pale, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood, all in gore blood. I swooned at the sight. Oh, Tybalt, Tybalt, the best friend I had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered and is Tybalt dead? My dearest cousin and my dear lord? That dreadful trumpet sounds the general doom. For who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh God, Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did. It did, alas, the day it did.
Oh, serpent's heart hid with a flowering face. Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, angelical, just opposite to what thou justly seemest. Oh, damned sand, an honorable villain. Oh, nature, what hadst thou do to in hell, when thou didst bower the spirit of a fiend in mortal paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such a vile matter, so fairly bound? Oh, that this seed should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men. All perjured, all forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is ashamed to sit. For this a throne where honor may be crowned, sole monarch of universal earth. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt is dead, that would have slain my husband. All is comfort. Wherefore replied thee then? Some word there was, worser than Tybalt's death, that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses into my memory like a damned guilty deed to sinners' minds. Tybalt's dead, and Romeo banished. That banished, that one word banished, had slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there, or if sour woe delights in fellowship, and immediately be ranked with other griefs. I followed not when she said, Tybalt's dead. Thy father or thy mother, nay, or both, which modern lamentation might have moved, but with a rearward following Tybalt's death. Romeo is banished. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure bound in that word's death. No words can that wow sound. Where is my father and my mother nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent when theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment. Take up those cords.
The nurse picks up the rope ladder.
Poor ropes, you are beguiled. Both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed, but I, a maid, die maiden widowed. Come, cords, come, nurse. I'll to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maiden head.
Hie you to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark you, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him. He is hid at Lawrence's cell.
Oh, find him.
She gives the nurse a ring.
Give this ring to my true knight, and bid him to come take his last farewell.
Exeunt. Scene 3, Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence.
Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man. I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom.
Enter Romeo.
Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? Less than doomsday is the prince's doom.
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips. Not body's death, but body's banishment.
Banishment? Be merciful, say death, for exile hath more terror in his look. Much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Here from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death. Then banished is death misturned. Calling death banished, thou cutt'st my head off with a golden axe and smilest upon the stroke that murders me.
O deadly sin! O rude unthankfulness! Thy fault our law calls death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law and turned that black word death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here when Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessing from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blush as thinking their own kisses sin. But Romeo may not. He is banished. Flies may do this, but I must from here fly. They are free men, but I am banished. And sayst thou yet that exile is not death? Hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death, thou ne'er so mean, but banished to kill me? Banished? Oh, friar, the damned use of that word in hell. Howling attends it. How hast thou the heart, being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend professed to mangle me with the word banished?
Thou fond mad man, hear me a little speak.
Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment.
I'll give thee armor to keep off that word. Adversity's sweet milk, philosophy to comfort thee, though thou art banished.
Yet banished. Hang up philosophy, it helps not, it prevails not. Talk no more.
Let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak of that thou dost not feel. What thou as young as I, that Juliet thy love, an hour but married, Tybalt murdered, doting like me, and like me banished, then thou mightst speak, then thou mightst tear thy hair and fall upon the ground as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave.
arise. One knocks. Good Romeo, hide thyself. Hark, how they knock. Who's there? Romeo, arise. Thou wilt be taken. Stay a while, stand up. Run to my study, by and by. God's will. What simpleness is this? I come, I come. Who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me come in, and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Ah, welcome then.
Oh, Holy Friar. Oh, tell me, Holy Friar, where's my lady's lord? Where's Romeo?
There on the ground with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, he is even in my mistress's case, just in her case. Oh, woeful sympathy, piteous predicament. Even so lies she, blubbering and weeping and weeping and blubbering. Stand up, stand up. Stand, and you be a man. For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an oh?
Thinkest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Does she not think me an old murderer, now I have stained the childhood of our joy with blood removed but little from her own? Where is she? And how doth she? And what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps, and now falls on her bed, and then starts up, and Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries, and then down falls again.
As if that name shot from the deadly level of a gun should murder her. That name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Tell me, Friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me that I may sack the hateful mansion.
He draws his dagger.
Desperate hand, art thou a man? Thy form cries out thou art. Thy tears are womanish. Thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast. Unseemly woman in a seeming man, an ill-beseeming beast in seeming both. Thou hast amazed me. By my holy order, I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself and slay thy lady that in thy life lives by doing damned hate upon thyself? Fie, fie, thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit. What roused thee, man? Thy Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. There art thou happy. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy. The law that threatened death becomes thy friend and turns it to exile. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings light upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array, but like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thou pounce upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy love, as was decreed. Ascend her chamber, hence, and comfort her. But look thou stay not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we can find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 20,000 times more joy than thou wentst forth in lamentation. Go before nurse, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Oh, what learning is! My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come.
Do so, and bid my sweet prepare to chide.
Here, sir, a ring she bid me give you, sir.
Nurse gives Romeo the ring.
Are you, make haste, for it grows very late.
Exit nurse.
Oh, well, my comfort is revived by this.
Go hence, good night, and here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day disguise from hence. Sojourn in Mantua. Find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand. 'Tis late. Farewell. Good night.
But that a joy past joy calls out on me, it were a grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Exeunt. Scene 4. A room in Capulet's house. Enter old Capulet, his wife Lady Capulet, and the County Paris.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly. 'Tis very late. She'll not come down tonight.
These times of woe afford no times to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she's mewed up to her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tend my child's love. I think will be ruled in all respects by me. Nay, more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son Paris's love, and bid her, mark you me, on Wednesday next. But soft, what day?
Monday, my lord.
Oh, Thursday let it be. Oh, Thursday tell her. She shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We'll keep no great ado. A friend or two, for hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, it may be thought we held him carelessly, being our kinsman if we revel much. Therefore we'll have some half a dozen friends, and there an end. But what say you to Thursday?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, get you gone. Oh, Thursday be it then. Go you to Juliet ere you go to bed. Prepare her, wife, against this wedding day. Before me, it is so very late that we may call it early by and by. Good night.
Exeunt. Scene 5. Capulet's orchard. Enter Romeo and Juliet aloft.
Wilt thou be gone? It is not year and day. It was the nightingale, and not the lark, that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yond pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. It must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Your light is not daylight, I know it I. It is some meteor that the sun exhaled, to be to thee this night a torch-bearer, and light to thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore, stay yet. Thou needest not to be gone.
Let me be taken. Let me be put to death. I'm content, so thou wilt not have it so. I'll say, yon gray is not the morning's eye. 'Tis but the pale reflection of Cynthia's brow. Nor is that the lark whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come death and welcome. Juliet wills it so. Oh, it's my soul. Let's talk. It is not day.
It is. High hands, be gone away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps, and arm from arm that voice doth us affray, haunting thee hence with hunts up to the day. And now, be gone! More light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Enter nurse.
Madam, your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary. Look about.
Farewell, farewell. One kiss and I'll descend.
They kiss, and Romeo descends.
Oh, thinkst thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not. And all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our times to come.
Oh God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee, now thou art so low, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou lookst pale.
Trust me, love, in my eye, so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu. Adieu.
Exit Romeo.
O Fortune, I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back.
Enter Lady Capulet.
Oh, daughter, are you up? Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I'm not well.
Ever more weeping for your cousin's death? What, wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for?
Feelings so the loss, I cannot choose but ever weep the friend.
Well, girl, thou weepst not so much for his death, as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain, Romeo.
Villain, and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him, I do it with all my heart, and yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
I, madam, from the reach of these my hands.
We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not. Then weep no more. I'll send to one in Mantua, where that same banished runagate doth live. Shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company. Thou wilt be satisfied.
Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named, and cannot come to him to wreak the love I bore my cousin upon his body that had slaughtered him.
Find thou the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they, beseech your ladyship?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn. The gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee a joyful bride.
Now by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste that I must wed, ere he that should be a husband comes to woo. I pray you, tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet. And when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself, and see how he will take it at your hands.
Enter Capulet and nurse.
How now, a conduit girl? What? Still in tears? Evermore showering? How now, my wife? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the foot were married to her grave.
Soft. Take me with you. Take me with you, wife. How? Will she none? Doth she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Does she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bride?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud I can never be of what I hate, but thankful even for hate that is meant love.
How? How? Chopped logic? What is this? Proud? And I thank you, and I thank you not, and yet not proud? Mistress Minion, you, thank me no thankings, proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints 'gainst Thursday next to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee there, I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out, you green sickness carrion, out, you baggage, you tallow face.
What, are you mad?
But father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience, but speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage disobedient wretch. I tell thee what, get thee to church on Thursday, or never look after me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Oh, wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God lent us but this only child. But now I see this one is one too much, and that we have a curse in having her. Out on her, Hilding.
God in heaven bless her. You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
And why, my lady wisdom? Hold your tongue. Good prudence matter with your gossips. Go.
May not one speak?
Peace, you mumbling fool. Utter your gravity over a gossip's bowl, for here we need it not.
You are too hot.
God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone in company. Still my care hath been to have her matched, and having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, a fair diminuses, youthful and nobly lined, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, yeah, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched, puling fool, oh, a whining mammet, in her fortune's tender to enter. I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you, pardon me. But an you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on it, I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, advise, and you be mine, and I'll give you to my friend. And you be not, hang, bake, starve, die in the streets. For by my soul I'll never acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Think to it, bethink you, I'll not be forsworn.
Exit Capulet.
Is there no piercing in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week. Or, if you do not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Exit Lady Capulet.
God, oh nurse, how shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth, my faith in heaven. How shall that faith return again to earth, unless that husband sendeth me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me, counsel me. What sayest thou? Hadst thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse.
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished in all the world to nothing, that he dares ne'er come back to challenge you. Or if he do, he needs must be by stealth. Then, since the case so stands as now it doth, I think it best you married with the county. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dish-clout to him. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first, or, if it did not, your first is dead, or 'twere as good he were, as living here and you no use of him.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul too, else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hadst comforted me marvelous much. Go in and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father to Lawrence cell, to make confession and to be absolved.
Marry I will, and this is wisely done.
Exit nurse.
Ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend, is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which she had praised him with above compare so many thousand times? Go, counselor, thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. I'll to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die.
Exit Juliet. Act 4, Scene 1, Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence in Paris.
On Thursday, sir? The time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind. Uneven is the course, I like it not.
Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talk of love. For Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she do give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears, which, too much minded by herself alone, may be put from her by society. Now, do you know the reason of this haste?
I would I knew not why it should be slowed. Look, sir, here comes the lady toward my cell.
Enter Juliet.
Happily met, my lady and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next.
What must be, shall be.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to this father?
To answer that, I should confess to you. Are you at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass?
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone.
Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse you. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
Exit Paris.
Oh, shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come weep with me. Past hope, past care, past help.
Oh, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prolong it. On Thursday next be married to this county.
Tell me not, Friar, that thou hearest of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently.
She shows him her knife.
God join my heart and Romeo's, thou our hands, and ere this hand by thee to Romeo sealed, shall be the label to another deed, or my true heart with treacherous revolt turn to another. This shall slay them both. Therefore, give me some present counsel, and be not so long to speak. I long to die, if what thou speakest speak not of remedy.
Hold, daughter, I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution as that is desperate which we would prevent. If rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then is it likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to chide away this shame, that copst with death himself to escape from it? And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the bottomless of any tower, or walk in thievish ways, or bid me lurk where serpents are, chain me with roaring bears, or hide me nightly in a churl's house, or covered quite with dead man's rattling bones with reeky shanks and yellow chapless skulls, or bid me go into a new-made grave, and hide me with a dead man in his shroud. Things that I hear them told have made me tremble, and I will do it without fear or doubt, to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
Hold, then, go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, look that thou lie alone. Let not the nurse lie with thee in thy chamber.
He holds out a vial.
Here, take thou this vial. Being then in bed, and this distilling liquor drink thou off, when presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. The roses in thy lips and cheeks shall fade to paly ashes. Thy eyes' windows fall like death when he shuts up the day of life. Each part, deprived of supple government, shall stiff and stark and cold appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou shalt awake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift, and hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking, and that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua, and this shall free thee from this present shame, if no inconstant toy, nor womanish fear, abate thy valor in the acting.
Give me, oh, tell not me of fear.
Hold, get you gone, be strong and prosperous in this resolve. I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua with my letters to thy lord.
Love, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
Exeunt separately. Scene 2, the hall in the Capulet's house. Serving men move about the house, about the stage. Enter Capulet, Lady Capulet, and nurse.
We shall be much unfurnished for this time. Is my daughter gone ere long?
Aye, forsooth.
Well, we may chance to do some good on her. A peevish, self-willed harlotry it is.
See where she comes from shrift with merry look.
How now, my headstrong? Where have you been gadding?
Where I have learned me to repent the sin of disobedient opposition to you and your behests, and am enjoined by Holy Lawrence to fall prostrate here to beg your pardon. Pardon, I beseech you. Henceforward, I am ever ruled by you.
Ah, tell him of this morning.
I met the youthful lord at Lawrence's cell, and gave him what becometh law I might, not stepping over the bounds of modesty.
Why, I'm glad on it. This is well. Stand up. This is as it should be. Let me see the county. Aye, marry, go, I say, and fetched him hither. Now, afore God, this reverend holy friar, all our holy city is much bound to him.
Nurse, will you go with me into my closet to help me sort such needful ornaments as you think fit to furnish me tomorrow?
No, not till Thursday. There is time enough.
Go, nurse, go with her. We'll go to church tomorrow.
Exeunt Capulet and Lady Capulet. In one direction, Nurse and Juliet in the other direction. Scene 3, Juliet's chamber. Enter Juliet and Nurse.
Aye, those attires are best. But, gentle nurse, I pray thee, leave me to myself tonight, for I have need of many orisons to have the heavens to smile upon my state, which, well thou knowest, is cross and full of sin.
Enter Lady Capulet.
What? Are you busy, Ho? Need you my help?
No, madam. We have called such necessaries are behoveful for our state tomorrow. So please you, let me now be left alone, and let the nurse this night sit up with you, for I am sure you have your hands full all on this so sudden business.
Good night. Get thee to bed and rest, for thou hast need.
Exit Lady Capulet and Nurse.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. I'll call them back again to comfort me. Nurse! What should she do here? My dismal scene I needs must act alone. Come, vial.
She takes out the vial.
What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning?
She takes out her knife and puts it down beside her.
No, this shall forbid it. Lie thou there. What if it be a poison which the friar suddenly had ministered to have me dead? Let's in this marriage he should be dishonored because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is. Yet methinks it should not, for he had still been a holy man. How if, when I'm laid into the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? Oh, there is a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault, to whose foul mouth no healthsome air breathes in? Then I strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or if I live, is it not very like the horrible conceit of death and night, together with the terror of the place, as in a vault, an ancient receptacle where for this many 100 years the bones of all my buried ancestors are packed, where bloody Tybalt, yet but green in earth, lies festering in its shroud, where, as they say, at some hours in the night, spirits resort. Alack, alack, is it not like that I, so early waking, what with some loathful smells and shrieks like mandrakes torn out of the earth, that living mortals hearing them run mad? Or if I wake, shall I not be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears, and madly play with for our father's joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud, and in this rage, with some great kingdom's blown, as with a club, dash out my desperate brains? Well, look, methinks I see my cousin's ghost, seeking out Romeo that did spit his body upon a rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay. Romeo, 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 here's a drink. I drink to thee.
She drinks and falls upon her bed within the curtains. Scene 4. Hall in Capulet's house. Enter Lady Capulet and nurse.
Hold. Take these keys and fetch more spices, nurse.
They call for dates and quinces in the pastry.
Enter old Capulet.
Come, stir, stir, stir. The second cock hath crowed. The curfew bell hath rung. 'Tis 3 o'clock. Look to the baked meats, good Angelica. Spare not for cost.
Go, you cot quean, go. Get you to bed. Faith, you'll be sick tomorrow for this night's watching.
Good faith, 'tis day. The county will be here with music. So he said I hear him near. Nurse, wife, what ho? 'Tis day and Paris comes. Go waken Juliet. Go and trim her up. I'll go and chat with Paris. Hi, make haste, the bridegroom. He is come already. Make haste, I say.
Exeunt separately. Scene 5. Juliet's chamber. Nurse approaching the bed.
Why, lamb, why, lady, fie, you slug a bed. Why, love, I say, madam, sweetheart, why, bride, what, not a word? You take your pennyworths now, sleep for a week, for the next night I warrant the county Paris hath set up his rest, that you shall rest but little. God forgive me. Mary and the men, how sound she is asleep. I needs wake her. I needs must wake her. Madam, madam, madam. Aye, let the county take you in your bed. He'll frighten you up, in faith. Will it not be?
She opens the bed's curtains.
What? Dressed and in your clothes and down again? I must needs wake you. Lady, lady, lady. Alas, alas, help, help. My lady's dead. Oh, we're a day that ever I was born. Some aquavita, oh, my lady, my lord.
Enter Lady Capulet.
What noise is here?
Oh, lamentable day.
What is the matter?
Look, look, oh, heavy day.
Oh me, my child, my only life. Revive! Look up, or I will die with thee. Help! Help! Call help!
Enter Capulet.
For shame, bring Juliet forth. Her lord is come.
Alack the day. She's dead. She's dead. She's dead.
Ha! Ha! Oh, let me see her. Out, alas. She's cold. Her blood is settled, and her joints are stiff. Life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest full hour of all the field.
Enter Friar Lawrence in Paris.
Come, is the bride ready to go to church?
Ready to go, but never to return. O son, the night before thy wedding day hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, flower as she was deflowered by him. Death is my son-in-law. Death is my heir. Oh, my daughter, he hath wedded. I will die and leave him all. Life living, all is death's.
Have I thought long to see this morning's face? And doth it give me such a sight as this?
Accursed, unhappy, wretched, hateful day. Most miserable hour that e'er time saw.
Oh, woeful, woeful day, most lamentable day, most woeful day that ever I did but yet behold.
Beguiled, divorced, wronged, spited, slain. Most detested death, by thee beguiled, by cruel thee quite overthrown.
Despised, distressed, hated, martyred, killed. Uncomfortable time, why camest thou now to murder our solemnity? Ah, O child, my soul, and not my child, dead art thou. Alack, my child is dead, and with my child my joys are buried.
Peace, oh, for shame. Confusion's cure lives not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now heaven hath all, and all the better is it for the maid. Your part in her you could not keep from death, but heaven keeps his part in eternal life. The most you sought was her promotion, for 'twas your heaven she should be advanced. And weep you now, seeing she is advanced above the clouds, as high as heaven itself. Dry up your tears, and stick your rosemary on this fair course, and, as the custom is, and in her best array, bear her to church. For though fond nature bids us all lament, yet nature's tears are reason's merriment.
All things that we ordained festival turn from their office to black funeral.
Sir, go you in, and madam, go with him, and go, Sir Paris, everyone prepared to follow this fair course unto her grave. The heavens do lour upon you for some ill. Move them no more by crossing their high will.
Exeunt. Act 5, Scene 1. Enter Romeo.
If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presaged some joyful news at hand. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think. And breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Ah, me, how sweet is love itself possessed when but love's shadow are so rich in joy.
Enter Romeo's man Balthasar in riding boots.
News from Verona? How now, Balthasar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How doth my Juliet? That I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well.
Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it for my office, sir.
Is it even so? Then I deny you, stars. Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper, and hire post horses. I will hence tonight.
I do beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure?
Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter, get thee gone. And hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight.
Exit Balthasar.
Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for the means. Mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary, hereabouts who dwells, which late I noted in tattered weeds, with overwhelming brows, culling of simples. Meager were his looks, sharp misery had worn him to the bones. Knowing his penury, to myself I said, and if a man did eat a poison now, whose sale is present death in Mantua, here lies a caitiff wretch who would sell it him. This same thought did but forewarn my need. The same needy man must sell it me. I remember, this should be the house. What ho! Apothecary!
Enter Apothecary.
Who calls so loud?
Come hither, man. I see thou art poor.
He offers money.
Hold, there is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins, that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fired doth hurry from the fatal cannon's womb.
Such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any that utters them.
Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness and fearest to die? Famine is in thy cheeks. Need and oppression starveth in thy eyes. Contempt and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. But be not poor, but break it. And take this.
Apothecary gives him the poison.
Put this in any liquid you will, thing you will, and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
Romeo pays him.
There is thy gold. Worse poison to men's souls, doing more murder in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that thou mayst not sell. Farewell. Buy food and get thyself in flesh. Come cordial, not poison. Go with me to Juliet's grave, for there must I use thee.
Exit Romeo. Scene 2, Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar John.
Holy Franciscan Friar, brother. Oh!
Ah, the same should be the voice of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
Going to find a barefoot brother out. What of our order to associate me here in this city, visiting the sick and finding him? The searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did raise, sealed up the doors and would not let us forth, so that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Who bare my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it. Here it is again.
He returns the letter.
Nor get a messenger to bring it thee, so fearful were thy of infection.
Unhappy fortune! By my brotherhood, the letter was not nice, but full of charge of dear import, and the neglecting it may do much danger. Friar John, go hence, get me an iron crow, and bring it straight unto my cell.
Brother, I'll go and bring it thee.
Oh, now must I to the monument alone. Within these 3 hours will fair Juliet wake. She will beshrew me much that Romeo hath had no notice of these accidents. But I will write again to Mantua, and keep her at my cell till Romeo come. Ah, poor living corse, closed in a dead man's tomb.
Oops. Exit Friar Lawrence. Scene 3, a churchyard and a tomb belonging to the Capulets. Enter Paris and his page.
Under yon yew trees lay thee all long, holding thy ear close to the hollow ground. So shall no foot upon the churchyard tread, being loose, unfirm with digging up of graves, but thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me, as signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee. Go.
To stand alone here in the churchyard, that I will adventure.
He gives the flowers and moves away from Paris. Paris begins to scatter the flowers.
Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh, woe, thy canopy is dust and stone. The obsequies that I for thee will keep nightly be to strew thy grave and weep. The boy gives the warning, something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight? To cross my obsequies and true love's right? What? With a torch? Muffle me, night, a while.
He steps aside. Enter Romeo and Balthasar with a crowbar and torch.
Give me the light. Upon thy life I charge thee, whatever thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descended to this bed of death is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring that I must use in dear employment. Therefore, hence, begone. But if thou, jealous, dost return to pry in what I farther shall intend to do, by heaven, I will tear thee joint by joint, and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. The time and my intents are savage wild, more fierce and more inexorable far than empty tigers or the roaring sea.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that.
He gives money.
Live and be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow.
For all this same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
He steps aside. Romeo begins to force open the tomb.
Thou detestable maw, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth, thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food.
This is that banished, haughty Montague that murdered my love's cousin, with which grief it is supposed the fair creature died, and here is come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him.
Paris steps forward.
Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good, gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man, fly hence and leave me. I beseech thee, youth, put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, be gone!
I do defy thy commendation, and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy.
They draw and fight.
Oh Lord, they fight! I will go call the watch.
Exit page. Paris falls.
Enslave, if thou be merciful, open the tomb. Lay me with Juliet.
He dies.
Faith, I will. Let me peruse this face. Mercutio's kinsman, noble county Paris. What said my man when my betossed soul did not attend him as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have married Juliet. Did he not so? Did I dream it so? Am I mad hearing him talk of Juliet to think it was so? Oh, give me thy hand. One writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave.
He opens the tomb.
A grave? Huh, no. A lantern. Slaughtered youth. For here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Oh, my love, my wife. Death that had sucked the honey of thy breath hath no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks. Death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt, liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh. What more favor can I do to thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain, asunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin. Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that insubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? Fear that I will stay with thee, and ever from this place of dim night depart again. Here will I remain, with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. Lips, oh, you doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct, come, and savory guide. A desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks thy seasick, weary bark. Here's to my love. Oh, true apothecary. Oh, thy drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die.
He dies. Enter Friar Lawrence with lantern, crow, and spade.
St. Francis be my speed! How oft tonight have my old feet stumbled at graves? Who's there?
Here's one, a friend, and one that knows you well.
Bliss be upon you. Tell me, good my friend, what torch is yond that vainly lends his light to grubs and eyeless skulls as I discern?
One more.
It burneth in the capel's monument.
It doth so, holy sir, and there's my master, one that you love.
Who is it?
Romeo.
Oh, how long hath he been here?
Full half an hour.
Go with me to the vault.
I dare not, sir. My master knows not but I am gone hence, and fearfully did menace me with death if I did stay to look on his intents.
Stay then, I'll go alone. Fear comes upon me. Oh, much I fear some ill, unthrifty thing.
As I did sleep under this yew tree here, I dreamt my master and another fought, and that my master slew him.
Oh, alack, Romeo! Alack, what blood is this which stains the stony entrance of this sepulchre? What mean these masterless and gory swords to lie discolored by this face of peace? Romeo! Oh, pale! Who else? What? Paris too, and steeped in blood. Ah, what an unkind hour is guilty of this lamentable chance. The lady stirs.
Oh, comfortable friar, where is my lord? I do remember well. Where should I be? And there I am. Where is my Romeo?
I hear some noise. Lady, come from that nest of death, contagion, and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can contradict hath thwarted our intents. Come, come away. Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead, and Paris too. Come, I'll dispose of thee among a sisterhood of holy nuns. Stay not to question, for the watch is coming. Come, go, good Juliet, I dare no longer stay.
Go get thee hence, for I will not away.
Exit Friar Lawrence.
What's here? A cup closed in my true line's hand? Oh, poison I see, hath been its timeless end. Oh, churl, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after? I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them, to make me die with a restorative.
She kisses him.
Thy lips are warm.
We enter page with the first and second watch.
Lead, boy! Which way?
Ye noise? Then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheath. There rust, and let me die.
She takes Romeo's dagger, stabs herself, and dies.
This is the place, there where the torch doth burn.
The ground is bloody. Search about the courtyard. Go, some of you, where to you find attached. Oh, pitiful sight. Here lies the county slain, and Juliet bleeding warm and newly dead. Who here hath lain this 2 days buried? Go, tell the prince, run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues, some others, search. We seek ground whereon these woes do lie, but the true ground of all these piteous woes we cannot without circumstance descry.
Re-enter second watch and others with Balthasar and Friar Lawrence.
Here's Romeo's man. We found him in the churchyard.
Hold them in safety till the prince come hither.
Here's a friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps. We took this mattock and this spade from him as he was coming from this churchyard side.
A great suspicion. Stay the friar too.
Enter the prince with attendants.
What misadventure is so early up that calls our person from our morning rest?
Enter Capulet and Lady Capulet.
What should it be that is so shrieked abroad?
Oh, the people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open outcry toward our monument.
What fear is this which startles in our ears?
Sovereign, here lies the county Paris slain, and Romeo dead and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed.
Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes.
Here is a friar, and slaughters Romeo's man, with instruments upon him fit to open these dead men's tombs.
Oh heavens, O wife, look how our daughter bleeds. This dagger hath mistaken for lo his house is empty on the back of Montague, and it's missheathed in my daughter's bosom.
Oh me, the sight of death is as a bell that warms my old age to sepulchre.
Enter Montague.
Come, Montague, for thou art early up to see thy son, and ere now early down.
Alas, my liege, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of my son's exile hath stopped her breath. What further woe conspires against mine age?
Look, and thou shalt see.
Oh, thou untaught, what meanness is in this, to press before thy father to a grave?
Seal up thy mouth of outrage for a while, till we can clear these ambiguities, and know their spring, their head, their true descent. And then will I be general of your woes, and lead you even to death. Meantime, forbear. Bring forth the parties of suspicion.
I am the greatest, able to do least, yet most suspected, as the time and place doth make against me of this direful murder. And here I stand, both to impeach and purge myself, condemned and myself excused.
Then say at once what thou dost know in this.
Romeo, their dead, was husband to that Juliet, and she, their dead, that Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and their stolen marriage day was Tybalt's doomsday, whose untimely death banished the new-made bridegroom from this city, for whom, and not for Tybalt, Juliet pined. You, to remove that siege of grief from her, betrothed, and would have married her perforce to County Paris. Then comes she to me, and with wild looks bid me devise some mean to rid her from this second marriage. Or in my cell, there would she kill herself. Then gave I her, so tutored by my art, a sleeping potion, which so took effect as I intended, for it wrought on her the form of death. Meanwhile, I writ to Romeo that he should hither come as this dire night to help to take her from her borrowed grave, being the time the potion's force should cease. But he which bore my letter, Friar John, was stayed by accident, and yesternight returned my letter back. And all alone at the prefixed hour of her waking came I to take her from her kindred's vault, meaning to keep her closely at my cell till I conveniently could send to Romeo. But when I came, some minute ere the time of her awakening, here untimely lay the noble Paris, and true Romeo dead. She wakes, and I entreated her, come forth and bear this work of heaven with patience. But then a noise did scare me from the tomb, and she, too desperate, would not go with me, but, as it seems, did violence on herself. All this I know, and to the marriage her nurse is privy, and if aught in this miscarried by my fault, let my old life be sacrificed some hour before this time unto the rigor of severest law.
We still have known thee for a holy man. Where's Romeo's man? What can he say to this?
I brought my master news of Juliet's death, and then in post he came from Mantua to this same place, to this same monument. This letter he early bid me give his father, and threatened me with death, going in the vault if I departed not, and left him there.
Give me the letter. I will look on it.
He takes Romeo's letter.
Where is the county's page that raised the watch? Sirrah, what made your master in this place?
He came with flowers to strew his lady's grave, and bid me stand aloof, and so I did. Anon comes one with a light to ope the tomb, and by my master drew on him, and then I ran away to call the watch.
This letter doth make good the friar's words, their course of love, the tidings of her death. And here he writes that he did buy a poison of that poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heavens finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished.
Oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand.
But I can give thee more, for I will array her statue in pure gold, that whilst Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure at such rate be set as that of true and faithful Juliet.
As rich shall Romeo's by his ladies lie, poor sacrifices of our enmity. A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, and some punished, for never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
Oh.
A time for us, someday there'll be.